Can you believe the incredible history of Paul Reubens, aka Pee-wee Herman? The death of Pee-wee Herman is making us have a conversation about his history and impact on kids of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Born Paul Rubenfeld on August 27, 1952 in Peekskill, New York, he would grow up in Sarasota, Florida with a father who had flown in the Royal Air Force and U.S. Air Force during World War II, and mother who was a teacher. Paul Reubens was fascinated by comedy and acting, often going to the Ringling Bros Circus, which was headquartered in Sarasota at the time. This is how he became interested in growing and building a career in the field of acting. His desire would grow even further in high school and college. He would be named president of the National Thespian Society in high school, going on to Plymouth State University and Boston University, eventually leading him to California Institute of the Arts. The California Institute of the Arts would send Reubens into a career of acting and comedy. Finally, in 1977, he would get a break on The Gong Show, making several appearances. He would develop the concept of Pee-wee Herman in 1978 when doing improv. Reubens tried out for SNL in 1980, however his good friend Gilbert Gottfried would get the job. Out of anger, Reubens decided to start his own show with the character. Thus, the character Pee-wee Herman was born. His show would run for several months with 5 sellouts, garnering a lot of popularity locally. Eventually, he would catch the eyes of national talent, which would lead to a Pee-wee Herman special airing on HBO on September 11, 1981. He would then appear in 2 of Cheech and Chong's movies as well. This would further solidify his popularity and growth and a comedy talent. Due to the popularity, Reubens would just start billing himself as Pee-wee everywhere he went. He would drop his real-life persona of Paul Reubens, he became Pee-wee, and Pee-wee became him. 1985 would bring about Pee-wee's Big Adventure, pairing the genius of Tim Burton with Pee-wee. Notably, Pee-wee's Big Adventure would be Tim Burton's directing debut for a feature film. Reubens actually co-wrote the film and created a parody of the Italian film Bicycle Thieves. The concept actually came to Reubens when he was on the WB Studios lot, where he noticed many people riding around on bikes. The film would release on August 9, 1985 and would have mixed reviews. Eventually, it would get the label as being a cult classic film, a movie for many kids who grew up in the 80s and 90s. The success of the film would lead to Pee-wee's Playhouse on CBS. Notably, Pee-wee's Playhouse would have a $325,000 budget per episode, which was on par with primetime sitcoms for the time. The concept behind the Pee-wee show was to have a similar to that of Mickey Mouse Club or Captain Kangaroo. The show was a hit for families, with many people citing the fact that Reubens would speak to kids directly and parents loved the old school style. Pee-wee would get a sequel movie called Big Top Pee-wee, which was not as big of a success as the prior one and would only earn $15 million. The 1990s and 2000s would have him playing in a few different roles, but not the same strength as those 80s and early 90s Pee-wee movies and shows. Besides playing Pee-wee, he would also be the voice of DJ Rex at the Disney parks, which many fans fondly remember and know. His voice can still be heard in Oga's Cantina in Galaxy's Edge. Though this was a look back of Paul Reubens' career as Pee-wee Herman, we can't not end before stating that he was arrested twice. The first time occurred in 1991, where he was arrested for indecent exposure at an adult theater in Sarasota, Florida. In 2002, he would be arrested again based off a search warrant that he held child pornography. However, the charges would be lessened to a misdemeanor possession of obscene material of a child. It was later found out in 2004 that Reubens was a collector of erotica and had come into possession of hundreds if not thousands of vintage images, some containing teenagers, which he admittedly denied knowing was there. More recently, he would star in a new film with Netflix in 2016 called Pee-wee's Big Holiday. This film would be received with mixed reviews, but most fans were just happy to see Pee-wee back in action. Reubens would pass away on July 30th, 2023 from cancer. His battle was not known publicly, and many would be shocked by it. Reubens didn't want to worry his fans, friends, or family members. Overall, Pee-wee Herman impacted millions of kids everywhere. He helped change children's programming and developed as more than just a persona. Did you watch Pee-wee as a child? Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Believable Truths.